What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we have some Marvel Avengers leaks to talk about. Now, these are major leaks for Marvel's Avengers game in terms of the story, some character stuff, the villain, and more. So if you guys don't want to know what these are, turn away now. I will say, though, this was posted on 4chan. This has made its way around the internet, and we know, especially with 4chan, they're not normally very good. Normally, obviously, I think Reddit is probably the one that's looked at as the worst. If something's posted on Reddit, you really take it with a grain of salt. There's no confirmation that this stuff is true, but again, just in case you guys are scared about it, I completely understand that, by the way. But if you guys are scared, turn away now, because we're going to be talking about all this. All right. For those that are left, let's go over some of the major things discussed about this game, and then I'll give my impressions to it. So, Kamala Khan will be tasked with reuniting the Avengers following the events of A-Day, with advanced idea, mechanics, aim, and the extraterrestrial Kree presented as primary antagonists. So that we knew. That is not actually anything new. MODOK, whose end goal is to convert the citizens of New York into subservient humans, will be revealed as a true mastermind behind A-Day. So he, or it, the alien species or whatever you want to call it, it is the main villain of this game, okay? So I know we talked about in past videos, even the last video, I said, like, could they introduce Thanos into this game? Now, this doesn't have anything about that. Maybe that could eventually happen to set up, like, future games, but this is, I guess, the unofficial, word as to who the main villain of this game is. Various characters and locations from the wider Marvel universe will appear in cameo or supporting roles, including Hawkeye, Hank Pym, Ultron, and Black Panther's homeland Wakanda. Now, this article doesn't say it, but other ones have said it, so I'll try to include it. Hawkeye, I believe, is like on the run. He's like a fugitive, so he's not going to be in it all that much, and he's not really, from what I can tell, the Hawkeye that we know from the movies. Now, again, we know that they don't have to be like the movie. In fact, they're doing their own thing, and that's completely understandable. I completely respect that. Hank Pym, he will be actually, I believe they say he's going to be like in street clothes, like he's not in any sort of like outfit or anything, and he name drops Ant-Man, okay? So that's where we get that kind of thing too. Ultron is talked / referenced as to being in early development. So again, Ultron's not necessarily in it, but he is definitely mentioned. And then Black Panther's homeland Wakanda, I believe they talk about them wanting to open some sort of like ambassador building in New York City. So I believe those are all the connections, and another article said that for all of those. Now, those are going off of my memory, so you guys can definitely check, but that's what I remember. Captain America, while presumed dead at the start of the game, is alive and being held captive in the AIM facility. I want to leave that till the end because there's some stuff there. Insomniac Games' PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game serves as an indirect sequel to Marvel's Avengers. Khan, aka Miss Marvel, is offered a position in the Avengers at the end of the game, an invitation she opts to decline. A post-credit scene depicts a member of the Skrull arriving on Earth and disguising themselves as Stan Lee, signaling their infiltration of Earth. All right. Those last one, I'll be honest, before I did this video, I read the first couple. I did not get to the second half of them. I have some problems with some of them, so let's kind of go over one at a time. The Captain America one. Now, here's the deal. I 1000% believe this, but it does not take to, if you want to go on the side of, well, maybe this is just somebody making this up, it does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to guess that Captain America is alive. In fact, dating back to the very first time we saw Marvel's A-Day, trailer, the one I'm showing you, that like 18-minute clip, I said from the very beginning, he is not dead. Now, are there games that would be bold enough to actually kill somebody off like that in the way that they did? Yes, some games would absolutely do it. But this game, I really don't think so. One, it's the very first Avengers game we're getting. I really don't think you kill off, maybe the first or second biggest name of the Avengers, right? I mean, you could argue the ranking, but I really don't think you do that. And secondly, they designed him. Now, again, that is where I'm saying the boldness, because I do think there's games that would go so far to make a character, to flesh them out, to have all the game mechanics, literally, of how they control, and then to eliminate them early on where you don't get to play as them again. I feel like games have done that. Games will continue to to do that. Again, games that are very, now am I saying this game isn't going to be super bold? I don't know. I mean, ultimately we'll have to wait and see, but I think that specifically for this game, we've seen the gameplay of all of the different heroes basically of this game. I really just don't think you put that work into Captain America to play as him for around, 5-6 minutes, and then he's eliminated. I literally have been saying that since day one. I do not think he's going to be gone again. So I don't know if a lot of people have agreed or disagreed with that, so I'll move on. But again, I really think a lot of people would have said that. I've been saying that for a long time. That's not surprising. The Insomniac games, we've talked about the kind of weirdness that's going on. Would Spider-Man appear? Is that something that's possible to happen? I don't know. I've leaned on the side that these games are very, very different, very, very separate from each other. I don't think Spider-Man would actually appear in this game. But if this is true, so let's go off this. If it's true, if Insomniac Games' Spider-Man serves as an indirect sequel, and now it says indirect, so it's not, I feel like by even saying that, you're saying that it's basically not planned, that like it's happening, and maybe there'll be like one or two cues to it happening, but it's really not planned out. If they're going to go so far to make it a part of it, could Spider-Man be a DLC character? I guess it's possible. I've always said that I've said I want Spider-Man, I absolutely do, but I think the odds of getting him are very, very low. The Miss Marvel basically declining the Avengers thing seems very Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man Homecoming-like. In fact, it's actually the exact same thing. So I guess I believe that, although that's literally stealing a beat from a past movie. Again, could that be a sign that this is made up? It could. Is it a sign that the game is copying things that have happened in the movies and just shifting them around? Yeah, it could be that as well. And then the post-credit scene, I mean, I guess depends on, because the post-credit scene is kind of like funny to me, right? Like it's hinting at the next thing, the Skrull arriving on Earth, which by the way is very much what they're going for now, right? With Captain Marvel and really where we could see in terms of like the secret invasion, right? Where like the Skrull basically disguise themselves as the Avengers and stuff like that. We are basically seeing the very early stages of that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I would almost guarantee that is the path that the movies are going. So for the game to do pretty much A, what Captain Marvel did, and B, go in the same exact direction as what the movies are going, I don't know. I feel like even what you guys have said numerous times, right? I do agree with you guys. The game is doing its own thing. It doesn't want to steal, one-to-one like the movie. It doesn't want to do that. It wants to do its own thing. So by doing this, and also, again, like it's kind of comical. Like, why would it be disguising themselves as Stan Lee? You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's funny, but that's kind of weird, and like, why? Like, does that fit the overall like kind of atmosphere of the game? I feel like from what we've seen, it wouldn't necessarily make sense to do something like that, but maybe again, like as we're playing it, maybe there is a lot of comedy and there's a reason why something like that would happen. Again, it's a wait and see kind of thing, but that one, again, there's some weird ones. The second half, again, of this list is where things, to me, really start to break down. The Captain America one, I think, is 1,000% going to happen, whether or not it's the way the leaks have said it or not. I do think that's just what's going to happen. The villain, makes sense that they're going a very different route, right? And we talked about that. Do you do a brand new villain? Do you do a villain that hasn't gotten a lot of screen time or a lot of notice in the past in the Marvel universe just in general? Or do you go with like a name brand villain, right? What do you exactly do? Seems like they're taking the first one, right? They're going to do something a little bit differently. But then, then they do a thing like they're copying Spider-Man Homecoming, and then they're doing basically setting up what the movies are setting up in the future. So that kind of goes against, the grain. It goes against what overall I feel like this game is trying to do. Definitely exciting. I don't know if they're very mad that these leaks have made their way around the internet, but they've definitely spread out very, very far. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And these are several days old, by the way, so I do understand I'm late to the party, but I wanted to throw my hat in the arena to talk about this. I think they sound somewhat realistic. At least most of them sound pretty solid. Others don't sound very solid. Again, you take all these with a grain of salt. Game leaks have been proven true. Game leaks have been proven false. We're very close. The game is very, very close to coming out. The beta, the early access basically is very close to coming out too. So there's lots of Avengers stuff coming up over the next couple months. It's going to be very, very exciting. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you believe these leaks? Do you think that they're onto something? Do you think that they're made up? Whatever you guys think, let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And like I said, as more Avengers stuff comes out, I'll absolutely continue to cover it. We will do the beta whenever that happens, or if there's any news on it, I'll cover it. We'll play the beta. We'll be playing the game. I've said before, I'm going to get this game day one, no matter how many warning signs there could be telling me not to. I'm still going to do it. So lots of Avengers videos are coming up on this channel if you guys are interested, okay? Thank you again so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.